Okay, let's talk about the secret to setting healthy boundaries as an HSP or an empath. Because, guys, in order to set effective boundaries, it's extremely important that you recognize that a boundary is being violated, and then next, you are prepared to do something about it. So, the secret ingredient that I'm talking about here has everything to do with self-respect. Because when you have high self-respect, you understand when a boundary is being violated. When you care so much about yourself and your well-being, and you're having a good day, and all of a sudden something starts to get under your skin and not feel so good, you know enough to go, whoa, hey, something's happening here, and you're also prepared to put up that boundary and say, hey, this is not okay, right? And there's all sorts of ways to communicate that I explained in my other video on how to set boundaries as an HSP. But it doesn't matter how you communicate the boundaries unless you've understood that something's happening there. And guys, here's the real key to understanding this from the perspective of being highly sensitive. Because if you are an HSP or an empath, then there's a good chance that you've grown up with a damaged self-image, that you've struggled with low self-esteem and low self-confidence and low self-worth. And what that also means is that your level of self-respect is also going to be lower. And sadly, this is true. When we grow up, as I did, being told that we're too much, we're too sensitive, we're too needy, all of these different things, what's the matter with you? People couldn't understand why we might be reacting strongly to overstimulation, to feeling overwhelmed, to loud noises, to yelling, to negativity. Any number of things that the average person, it's not going to register for them as problematic because 80% of the population is not considered highly sensitive. But you in the minority 20%, you are, and they don't get you. So they told you that there's something wrong with you in many different ways. Or at least that's how you were perceiving the way people were treating you and talking to you. That, oh my God, there's something wrong with me. What is the matter with me? You know? And that's what causes all these problems downstream. Because now here you are as an adult, and you still kind of walk around as if, you're not allowed to take up space. That, who am I to have needs and wants? I'm so sorry. I'm here to just take care of other people's needs. I don't mean to bother anyone. You ever feel like that? I mean, I used to feel like that all the time. Oh, I'm so sorry. Don't mind me. Showing up to meetings and just feeling self-conscious that I might have upset somebody by, I don't know, making a noise or something. When I deserve and you deserve to take up space. You're important. Your needs matter. And so when you start to cultivate that healthy sense of self-respect, you embody this. You understand that your experience matters. Even if someone's car stereo isn't bothering your friend, but it's bothering you, that doesn't matter. That gives you the right to say something and say, hey, excuse me, the radio is a little bit too loud for me. Would you mind turning that down? Right? When you have healthy self-respect, you speak up for yourself. And you communicate to other people that you're someone who has the right to a good experience, because you always have the right to a good experience in life. And it's never okay for someone to take advantage of you, to mistreat you, or any number of things. Now, I'm speaking about this topic today because it came up with a friend recently where his roommate was taking advantage of him. And she kept on crossing the line over and over and over, breaking the terms of their agreement while she was renting a room in his house. And it got to the point where my friend was really freaking out because of this very difficult roommate. She just kept on pushing him and pushing him and pushing him past his point of feeling uncomfortable. And what I took away from that was that he hadn't quite yet crossed this bridge. And it became a beautiful opportunity for us to talk about setting boundaries and how to increase his self-respect, because he just hadn't had that chance yet. He's a very empathetic, compassionate person, and he was very amenable to his roommate's needs and concerns. And I would say too amenable, because in my eyes, she was taking advantage of someone who was very willing to meet her needs at the expense of his own. And so I want to share this message to empower you. If you're a sensitive person who is very caring for others, but sometimes you're in situations where it's not reciprocal, where you're caring for them, you're mindful of their needs, but they could care less about your needs. I'm here to tell you that that's not okay, and it's time for you to speak up. But before you can speak up, you do have to do that inner work first and cultivate that self-respect. That your needs matter, that you matter, that you're a person of high self-worth, of high value, and deserving of love, deserving of peace, deserving of feeling good going throughout your day. So long as you're not making unreasonable demands on people and you're being fair, it is always okay and always appropriate for you to speak up when you sense your energetic field being impacted. Because to set healthy boundaries, you have to know that a boundary is being impinged upon. And guys, here's the way you know this. You're going about your day, you're having a good experience, and then all of a sudden somebody enters your experience and they act in a way that causes those alarm bells to go off, however subtle or slight. I gave the example in another video of where I was working out at this gym, and somebody entered my space and was very eager to ask questions of me and connect and this and that, but it was very early in the day, and I was in a very peaceful, meditative state. I was not interested in a conversation like that, and I felt that aggravation and irritation. So that is what I'm talking about. And when you have that sense, as a sensitive person, you have a lot of these different sensory experiences. This is a sort of signature experience that clues you in that a boundary has been crossed and that it's appropriate for you to say something. So again, you're going about your day, someone enters your experience, and then they act in a way that causes you to close down, to feel irritated, agitated, uncomfortable, unsafe, overwhelmed, whatever the case may be. Somebody just turned up the car stereo too loud while you're in the back seat, and it's like it's hurting your ears and you can't think. It is your right, it is your obligation and duty, I would say, to tap into that self-respect, to remember, hey, My needs matter. My experience matters. I matter. And I don't like this loud music. Excuse me, would you mind turning that down? It's a little bit loud back here. That's all you have to say. And then they go, oh yeah, no problem. Sorry about that. 9 times out of 10, no one's going to care. And if they do care, well, you don't really want to be hanging out with that person anyways. So that's the idea, guys. I want to encourage you and empower you to stand up for yourself in all of these moments, however subtle and innocent or egregious. You're important. You matter. And it's too bad that you grew up feeling less than, feeling unworthy. It's too bad that you've had a low self-esteem at times, and the consequenting, whatever that right word is, self-respect that has not allowed you or empowered you to do something about it. So from here on out, I would encourage you to make a pledge to yourself that you will spend time journaling, contemplating, whatever makes sense to you, to embody this idea that you matter, that you're important, that these qualities of being an HSP or an empath that have made your life so difficult at times are also superpowers and gifts and abilities. I want you to really take away from all of these videos, the theme to all of these videos is that you are amazing. So much more amazing than you've ever probably realized. These are superpowers, the gift of intuition, of high perception, of understanding people's emotional needs and how to tend to them, of how to guide somebody in life along a path that is successful. These are superpowers, and you have the ability to be a superhero if you claim these powers and abilities and you use them for the greater good. So, if this is resonating with you and you've had an interest in this path, and specifically I'm referring to HSPs and empaths that have had an interest in becoming a coach, because that's really the sweet spot where you get to use these superpowers and become a superhero, then click on the link in the description to schedule a short 15-minute phone call with me where we can talk about whether or not it would make sense to explore this new career path further. If you've been thinking about it, but you're just not sure about yourself or sure about this path, this is what it's about. And I would love to help you with this because it's meant so much to me and all the people that I've had the honor of working with, as well as a coach myself. So that's it, guys. I hope you found this video helpful. If so, please like it and subscribe to my channel and tune in for the next one.